This is another banger. My Jewish friend saw a sign that said free parking and panicked. That it said free Palestine. The Jews are tired. Eve Fartlow. Right. All right. Eve Fartlow. All eyes on Rafa. How about all eyes on you? This is on you, awoke progressives. The useful idiots of Western media are responsible for the deaths of innocent civilians in Gaza. Without your outcry, Hamas wouldn't have needed to continue to use their own civilians as human shields and to refuse hostage deals and ceasefire deals and prolong this war. Why won't they just lay their arms down and fucking die? That's how she sounds. For people who think that that's not how Eve Fartlow sounds, that is actually how she sounds. Okay, I'm sorry. Many people come into this community and say, Hasan, your accents are abysmal. They're awful. Maybe even constitute a hate crime. Okay, and then they actually are met with the person that I'm imitating, and they're like, okay, never mind. I actually realized, to me, it sounded like you were making this up, but it does unironically sound like this. So to them, I say, just wait. One day you will find what she sounds like, and you will recognize that I was right all along. History will vindicate me. History will absolve me. Okay? Yes, the effects are devastating. Today, Israel is being bombed from inside of Rafah. Rockets made it as far as Tel Aviv. Israelis had to hide in broad daylight. What do you expect us to do? Not defend ourselves? Not get our hostages back? Not protect our borders? The IDF has made horrible mistakes. Oh shit, she's caving. She's fucking caving. Why would they? What do you mean? What's a horrible mistake that they've made? Why would you acknowledge that? Eve Fartlow is Scottish. Guess what? Most armies do. Every civilian death is a tragic result of war. But why do you keep putting civilians in harm's way? Because you keep being myopically outraged. You keep ignoring the brutalities that Palestinians face at the hands of their own rulers. You keep ignoring the atrocities of October 7th. You keep ignoring the 120 plus hostages remaining in Gaza. You know who's actually not ignoring those hostages? Benjamin fucking Netanyahu, who's doing his very best to kill as many of them as he possibly can, so that it's no longer a political problem for him. He's doing his very best to kill as many hostages as the Hannibal Doctrine intends him to do. You ever hear about the Hannibal Doctrine? It's the best doctrine. I love it. You keep ignoring the facts. This is on you. You're keeping this war alive with your dumb propaganda ceasefire now posts. Oh, it's so bad. She always finds a way to make me laugh. I do personally appreciate Eve Fartlow for always, in all of this awfulness, in all of this ceaseless, inhumane violence that we're seeing, it's just like she's so fucking stupid that personally is just, she always finds a way to make me laugh. What happened? My yearly ban? It's you. You're helping Hamas win this war. And you're doing exactly... Oh, shit. Inshallah, brother. You are doing exactly what Hamas wants. Yeah. Are you hearing me? All eyes on you, she says. Rogan just banned someone for the first time in a year. Hashtag head mod. Yeah. I told Eve Fartlow she had a receding hairline and she blocked me. It's true. Yeah, by the way, Israel's deadly attack on tent camp confirms there is no safety in Gaza, as survivors say. No matter where we go, we will die here, Palestinian woman says. Israeli leaflets instructed Gazans to head for this camp. Okay? Like, this is supposed to be a safe area. This is supposed to be a safe area. Of course, there is no such thing. Someone just said, Someone just said, I'm from Israel and I admit we're cooked, bro. And they got, I don't know why they got banned. Okay, you want me to look at another Eve Fartlow take? Okay, hold on. This is the old school one. I was a progressive. I believe in the rights of all, including Jews. The latter got me tarnished with labels. The anti-Semites went to lengths. They made fake tweets by me to prove that I'm a racist, a TERF, an Islamophobe, an ableist. They gave me a hate name, Eve Fartlow. Another phenomenal one is the free parking one. That's another banger. Is Eve even Jewish or Israeli, or is her R referring to Zionist? No, she is. She's Jewish and Scottish. This is another banger. My Jewish friend saw a sign that said free parking and panicked. That it said free Palestine. The Jews are tired. That one is an all-timer because it's like, why are you scared of a sign that says free parking? Or even a sign that says free Palestine? What? There's another banger that I missed. Fuck. Hamas are better than the Nazis. Better. They've mastered the art of psychological terrorism and global propaganda. If you are screaming about the tragic deaths, dude, you don't have to hand it to the Nazis. You don't have to do that. That's weird. You're Jewish. What the fuck? That's insane. That is so weird, man. That is so fucking weird. That's crazy. If you're screaming about the tragic deaths of innocents in Rafah, a result of urban warfare meticulously provoked and planned by a terror regime who gives zero fucks about their own people or anything but death, you have to also say, you have also yet to say a single thing about the atrocities of October 7, which is 8 months ago. Eve Fartlow. Or the Jewish people still held in captivity who were raped and murdered solely for the crime of being Jewish. Then you have become a part of the regime. You and I will never, ever share a common humanity. You have no humanity. You are a puppet for terrorism. Go to hell. Liberal Zionist rapper does some bad Hasbro. What the fuck? Yeah, I read the Batman thing. We're done. In my opinion, the demilitarized state was understandable in the context of two states, as the whole selling point for Israel domestically was long-term security. It was kind of taken for granted post-Camp David, especially since the agreement was to have an international quartet and Arab forces to replace the military. You can definitely criticize it as a case of Israel abusing the PLO's pragmatism to further weaken the PA politically. I mean, that is precisely what it is, especially from the framework of, especially the way Palestinians see it. Have you seen Zionist propaganda from Big Time Rush? No, because I'm not a fucking person who cares about Big Time Rush, Frogan. What the fuck? Does anybody care about the Zionist propaganda from Big Time Rush except for you, a Stan? I cannot believe people were yelling at you for saying Ludwig had a cracker ass take when you yourself are making saltine sentiments previously unheard of in this fucking community. Okay? Oh yeah, there has never been a moment in my entire existence, at least over the course of the past 10 fucking years of covering Israel Palestine, where I ever went to myself and said, let me see what Big Time Rush is saying about Israel. Okay? Like, never has that thought ever been inside of my mind. There has never been a moment in my life where I have gone, what does the lead singer, I assume, is that James Maslow or whatever, the guy that you just linked the tweet, where I have thought to myself, like, what does Big Time Rush have to say about Israel's ethnic cleansing of Palestinians? There is no, and the thing is, there's never been a moment where I've cared about what Big Time Rush has to say about any other thing either. You know what I mean? I've never been like, what do they have to say about the so-called peace process? Or what does Big Time Rush have to say about, I don't know, tax breaks for the wealthy? Like, what do they have to say about, what do they have to say about healthcare for all? Like, I don't it's just not in my realm of interest.
Eve Barlow used to be a music journalist in Britain. Then, Eve turned her focus towards Jews and Israel, staunchly advocating against anti Semitism and anti Zionism. Eve Barlow is also a friend of Amber Heard. During the defamation suit between Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, Eve Barlow was kicked out of the courtroom. Eve ran into trouble with the judge after she texted and live tweeted from the front row of the courtroom, which is normally reserved for legal counsel. According to court transcripts, the judge said that she was tweeting live from my courtroom, and I know the deputies took her out because she was texting. That's against the court order. Miss Barlow is not coming back into the courtroom during this trial. As per legal rules, members of Depp and Heard's respective legal teams are the only individuals permitted to have personal devices inside the courtroom. However, Barlow was seen using her cell phone in court several times during the hearing, prompting the judge to order her removal.
You know what? I hope people keep posting your armpit here.
Iran. The Islamic Republic of Iran is a beautiful country in the Middle East.
Frogan, this has 200 likes. Like, big time Rush fans don't care about this. What are we doing? It's from May 8th. This is so unimaginably hyper specific. It's like if someone came in here and was like, "Do you know what Blade had to say about Israel Palestine?" I'd be like, "No." And I want to maintain that position. I want to maintain my lack of knowledge on what Blade had to say. Drain Gang and their sentiment on Israel Palestine is so beyond my realm of interest. Like, I don't care. This is ridiculous. Oh, okay. But yeah, here, as we were talking about some actually important stuff, the airstrike started a massive fire that quickly tore through the thin tents and makeshift shelters. The health ministry in Gaza said 45 people were killed in the attack. By daylight Monday, the camp was filled with smoking tents, twisted metal, and charred belongings. Murat? Ne oldu? Ne getiriyorsun? Women cried as men prayed over their bodies. Some survivors said that they had come to the camp because they followed a warning on Israeli leaflets telling them to leave Rafah for the humanitarian aid area. So that's another aspect of this that is, that adds insult to injury.
Germany, two countries that are usually more aligned with Israel, and Italy has not voiced any criticism at all during this war. Even they have come out against Israel and said that this is a sign that what's going on in Rafah is unacceptable. And think about the timing, Nadia. What we are seeing is that the ICJ said that Israel should not carry out any military attacks inside the Gaza Strip. That was Friday. And certainly not in Rafah because it couldn't guarantee the safety of the population there. Israel continued its attack, saying, yes, we can, because so many civilians have been moved. And within 48 hours, you see this terrible incident, which is, if you believe the Israeli military, was actually an accident, but the timing just lets you see that there will be more support for the ICJ now.
And Iris, some news.
Let's get the analysis now.
Also, want to point out something very crazy. Unlike Big Time Rush, here's actually an interesting take on Israel-Palestine from the supreme hater of Islam himself. Okay? Emmanuel Macron. You might know him as the President de la République Française. Is that how you say it? I don't know. Outrage basé Israel strikes that have killed many displaced persons in Rafah, he says. These operations must stop. There are no safe areas in Rafah for Palestinian civilians. I call for full respect of the international law and an immediate ceasefire, which is crazy because he literally, if given the opportunity, he would be doing Israel to the Muslims in France, honestly. So, something to consider.
now of Sean Bell as to what happened in Rafah. Sean, great to have you with us. So, look, Israel says these were precision strikes. What's your take on that?
Yeah, good afternoon, Kamali. They came out very quickly with a statement. They used the word precision twice, precision strike and precision intelligence as well. Almost certainly, when we look at the map, that's because the close proximity of the target to a UN facility, which we can see down near you over there. Now, the IDF claim that the tents up here were part of a Hamas headquarters, or at least a Hamas compound there. They're about 200 metres away from the UN facility, but the airstrike, when it did strike, obviously clearly destroyed a lot of these tents. And there's some pretty
free Israel. Yeah, free Israel from Zionism. I agree. Yeah, free Israel from the fascist ideology of Zionism that is rotting the moral fabric of all of the Israelis who defend the ethnic cleansing, dehumanizing them every day. Yeah, free Israel from Zionism, baby. Bring the hostages back. I agree. Bring them back. Stop the Israeli war cabinet from fucking mercilessly slaughtering all of the hostages. Free Israel from Zionism. Free Israel from fascism. Bring the hostages back. A sentiment being expressed on the streets of Tel Aviv right now is literally all for all. Free all the hostages, which I agree with. Nah. Thanks, man. Okay. Never mind. I think you broke him. Yeah. I mean, he was already broken, I think. Like, it is wild to be simultaneously in support of, like, all of the untold cruelty that the Israeli occupying force is doing in Gaza, and also be like, free the hostages. It's like, bro, you know who doesn't want to free the hostages? Motherfucking Israel. What the fuck? 7 in October. The fucking Hasbara bot broke, dude. This has to be a child. I feel like an adult that has the capacity to fucking at least like recall talking points is gonna do a better job than this. Yeah, he's saying he's gonna turn 7 in the month of October.
Horrible footage associated with that. It's worth pointing out, Geneva Convention perspective, both sides have a legal responsibility to protect all the civilian population, even if those civilians are operating close to a legitimate military target, which might be the case in this case, in which case a rule of proportionality is applied to that. We come back to that later. From my own perspective, you know, I operated as head of a dynamic targeting cell in Kabul for about a year, and we're regularly targeting high-value targets with precision weapons, lots of intelligence. The one key figure, though, was your legal advisor next to you, and the number of times that he wouldn't let the attack be conducted because every feasible measure needs to be taken to try and protect the civilian population on the way. And on face value, the IDF have chosen to attack a target in a very densely populated area. Tents offer no protection whatsoever to a bomb, so we got a lot of casualties. I think the last numbers, we've got 45 killed, 23 of those apparently are women and children.
It might be, we don't know, but we will just believe Israel, whatever they say, even though they have literally lied every single day since October 7. Okay? Every single fucking day. There's just no way to look at this and be like, yeah, no, Israel has lied every single fucking day. For one truthful statement expressed by the Israeli foreign ministry, there is like 100 lies, all the way ranging all the way from like little lies to unimaginable, insane lies like Pallywood shit. That like Palestinians are actually faking their death and destruction.
And 249 wounded. And when you look at the scene there, those figures could well include. And the danger is here, it just reduces confidence in the international community about the way Israel's conducting this war. And just before I came on, the IDF have claimed the incident is being investigated, but the expectation that there weren't going to be any harm done to any non-involved civilians.
Right. OK. So where does this go then next? Because, of course, while the Rafah operation has been suggested and forthcoming, we've heard the allies of Israel saying that they shouldn't do it. The IDF should not go in.
You're absolutely right. And the challenge here, of course, is the IDF hasn't defeated Hamas yet. And that's why Netanyahu's been pretty clear he's determined to go and finish the job. The problem, of course, despite the International Court of Justice saying don't go into Rafah, Americans saying don't go in, international community, this whole body of opinion. But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu was determined, and therefore the Rafah offensive is likely to continue. There's been a bit of talk about peace talks that potentially start tomorrow. There may be some progress around hostages, but I have to say it's unlikely they're going to resolve the war itself. And even if the IDF did manage to complete its push through Rafah, would that have destroyed Hamas? Evidence suggests no. Hamas is popping up all over Gaza at the moment, causing all sorts of issues for the Israeli Defence Forces. They've clearly got the means and the intent to continue fighting. And as we've said many times, it's very unlikely there's a military solution to this. Almost certainly it'll need the international community to engage to bring this brutal war to an end.
And Sean, a thought from you then on the proportionality and whether...
Yeah, I mean, dude, the framing is also nasty. Like, considering this as a brutal war is just like, again, doing the bidding of the Israeli occupying force. You know what I mean? Like, it's not. It's just, it hasn't been, and it still won't be, no matter how hard you fucking say it. Obviously, that is that's like beyond comprehension for so many people in mainstream media. Like, even those who, even at Channel 4, like when they cover the stuff, they just still say like it's a war with it's a war that has like gone on for too long.
Just 2 days ago, an inquiry by a United Nations-backed commission has found that Israel and Palestinian groups have committed war crimes in the vicious war in Gaza, as it also accused Israel of crimes against humanity. Twin reports on the actions of Israel and Palestinian groups released on Wednesday by the Independent Commission of Inquiry constitute the UN's first in-depth investigation into the events since October 7th. Both sides stand accused of indiscriminate killings and sexual violence. The use of the term crimes against humanity, as in the report against Israel, is usually reserved for the most serious international crimes knowingly committed as part of a widespread or systematic attack against civilians. The findings, based on interviews with victims and witnesses, submissions, satellite imagery, medical reports, and verified open source information, were swiftly condemned by Israel, extending the antagonism between the Israeli government and international organizations. The commission, set up by the UN Human Rights Council in 2021, will present the reports to the Council next week. They cover the period from the attack on southern Israel by Palestinian groups on October 7th to the end of 2023. If you found this video informative, then you can subscribe to this channel for more videos like this, and thanks for watching.